you said, you mentioned that you actually have gone to all these educational institutions. While there have been those that have not been quite open to this idea, I'm pretty sure that there have been some that were open to this.
So one school which example I want to take, and I'm going to take the liberty of taking the school's name as well, as a school called Tagore International in Delhi. Now, we were very used to, when we were going to these schools, we were very used to, approaching the topic of homosexuality really carefully, and we'd be like, yeah, so this kid finds out that his brother is attracted to boys, and then wait for the reaction, And by the time I reached this school, I was just like, you know what, they're going to say no, so it's okay, let me just go ahead and say it. And I was talking, and I was like, yeah, this is a story about this 14-year-old boy, and he idol worships his elder brother, wants to be like him, and one day finds out that his brother is gay. And these two teachers are sitting across the table, and they give each other a look. And Shachi was there with me in that meeting, and both of us looked at each other and said, Gaya ye school bhi. That teacher actually high-fived me and said, this is so important and we need to start speaking about this, and it's high time somebody took a stand. This school has just launched an and Thrive
a round
magazine.
of applause for that school, guys.
And I think the girl who's done this is I don't know what class she's in, but maybe class 12th or something. Siddhi Pal, if I remember her name right. And she's gone ahead and done all of this to do this. They kids talk about sexuality in that school openly. They talk about homosexuality in that school openly. And I think where and how that has happened is that those teachers have not become these strict disciplinarians over there, but they've become their friends. They'll talk to them about boyfriends, and they'll talk to them about girlfriends, and it's not a taboo for boys and girls to sit together. All the schools I've gone to, lines mein baitho to boys and girls alag, baitho to boys and girls alag, chalo to boys and girls alag. My school, when I was younger, punishment was to sit with a girl. Make up your mind, are you for homosexuality or against? So...
Working with school, so I have seen the scenario where if the girl and boy talks, that's okay, but if boy and boy are talking, or the situation taken by the teachers are in a different manner. First of all, the thing is that they have to accept the thing. Okay, whatever thing is going, take it in a positive way. If something is bothering them, they can go and talk to the counselors. Nowadays, the school is having an HR department. So they can go and talk to the counselor. Or if the parents are not able to understand what is the situation, they have to just go and talk to the counselor. Okay, this is the problem what faced by my child. How we can... That is very important nowadays.
For me, in fact, I really would like to say, I think the starting point of conversation could actually be films. That's one of the reasons I'm really extremely supportive of LGBT. Films which deal in any way with different subjects. And I really think Time Out, it was a short film. We showed it at Kashish in this particular theater, I think, or in Cinemax. I think we showed it in Cinemax at Kashish. And it was awesome. And I'm so glad that it's now a feature film. And I'm really excited to watch the film.
Thank you so much.
So for me, I've seen the way films deal with LGBT issues over the last 6 years. When we've been we got around 20 films in the first year in 2010. We got 50 films dealing with LGBT subjects from India this year. And I think that's huge. And I really think one is, of course, mainstream films, like Viacom is supporting a film like this. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really hats off to that. Also, documentaries and short films are really, a lot of colleges are supporting making of LGBT themed films. That is really interesting. So I think that for me is a future in terms of using films as a starting point of conversation about LGBT issues or any issues for the matter, because really powerful medium. And you visually, orally, you're actually getting so much of information, and you cannot really dispute. You can argue with it, but it's there, So that's something which we also believe. Actually, just to say this, Kashish has started a Kashish Forward program, which takes this on to LGBT films to colleges and universities. So we have had similar reaction from colleges, some who don't want to touch it, and some who are very welcoming. So I think it's going to be an interesting journey. Again, a university like Punjab University says, come over, let's do it. But whereas some other university in Delhi, which is the main big college, they're still hesitant. It's a long way, but I think the starting point has been made through a lot of the films all of you are making. I think it's really great, yeah.
Thank you. I want to ask you something, and Swara, both of you all, since you're all from the film industry, do you think the attitude of mainstream movies must change towards homosexuality? Because from the little bit movies that I've seen, I think somebody as a gay character is always stereotyped or made fun of. Like he said, the punishment was to sit with a girl. So I think, that's honestly, that's a boon for me. I wish
we would mess up. We would mess up just to get this punishment. That's exactly
Why
what
did my parents put me in that school? I'm telling you, my parents ruined my childhood. If only they cracked the code. ऐसी school में डाल देते मुझे. But do you think we need to change our attitude as filmmakers towards homosexuality? I think those characters are always made fun of.
See, I'll tell you what, I think there has been years in the way mainstream cinema looks at gay lesbian characters, but I still think the change is very slow. I don't think it's happened enough. And also I think there's this whole cycle of production, distribution, actors, casting, and the whole cycle, and that is challenging for any filmmaker or any production company, any distributor, and it's not happening. I mean, I'll tell you what, I think a film like if we take what film can I take? Actually, Dostana is an interesting film. It's not really a gay film, but it really did normalize the word gay in many ways, the way it dealt with. But at the same time, for us, like a film like Ded Ishq Kiya, it's not really gay, but it's so gay. For us, like, I mean, one of those, we kind of really think Ded Ishq Kiya is the gayest film around, you know, with Madhuri Dixit. And, I mean, it's awesome. For us, a film like that really kind of very positive, very interesting, and layered, and not having a very stereotypical character, as we talked about, who either is extremely effeminate. There are, yeah, effeminate men are there. I'm not saying, but having that one effeminate man as a prototype of a gay man, you know, is a problem. Yeah, made fun of all the time, or showing him as a really horrible, mentally distorted character. Like, well, I mean, Student of the Year and some of the other films really show that, which for me is a problem. So I think we are not really progressing enough. And as I said, like, my whole hope is more with the documentaries and the independent films. I mean, I see a lot of independent films which are coming up, which are basically much more honest about what they do. But I think things are changing, and I'm really happy that things are changing. Of course, we want that big gay film to happen very soon. So we are hoping like something will come true. Yeah.
I just want to say that I think that there is no, in some sense, there is no debate about whether Bollywood stereotypes or it does not. Of course it does. But I just like to kind of add that it doesn't only stereotype homosexuals. It stereotypes everybody. I mean, for the longest time, South Indians were like these loud people who don't know how to eat food. And like, you know, I'm a South Indian half. And I feel like, no. I mean, there's so many films where, you know, or Sardarjis, I mean, all Sikhs are like, oi, 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 like always happy, always cheerful. And like, so, but not just, but not like dahi chawal haath mein chaat ke and all Sardars do bhangra. Like, I mean, but it's not just that. I think men and women, like masculinity and femininity is also in general stereotyped. I mean, for the longest time, you know, you had, I mean, the vamp was one figure, or wo sari mein roti hui abla nari, and now I think that the six-pack has become a different kind of stereotype. And which is why I don't have one, not because I'm lazy, but I'm just saying that, so there is that kind of thing. But I think that in general, I think that things are also changing. And I think that as newer films are made, and I'd just like to say a big congratulations and, you know, good on you to Viacom for actually acquiring this film and, or whatever, taking it on and releasing it. It's so important that stories like this and films like this, which are different, I mean, those films will remain, they will always make 100 crores and just as well because, you know, it's good the film industry should make money. But it's really nice to see films like this, and I think that this is the beginning for that change. But I just want to say, because we're talking about solutions very quickly, I think that y'all are doing, which is that laws have to change. It's not okay to have a law that criminalizes homosexuality or unnatural sex or whatever weird language that is put in. It's just not okay. Because then you are making a whole population, which is not just gay people, but also heterosexuals. As we saw in the, you know, in various cases that have happened over the last year, you're making them vulnerable to rank bullying and nothing else by the agents of the state, whether it's the police, whether it's bureau, I mean, whoever. So it's really important that laws change and that as a society, we keep that pressure on the government, on our judiciary, so challenging, you know, all those cases. I mean, great job. Nice.
I just want to, sorry, I want to say one thing what's Swara and what you mentioned was that like now because of the law, what also happens is like when somebody's coming out at 13, 14, somebody's discovering themselves, you know, and they, a younger boy or a younger girl feel that he is gay or lesbian, we are not, as an organization, we are not able to even take on any kind of the case till that person is 18. Now, what happens is between 14 to 18 is such an important phase in so many youngsters' you know, lives. And there is absolutely no organization available at all which deal with LGBT issues sensitively. So what happens is if they come to an organization which deals with gay, lesbian rights, we send them to child organizations. And they're not equipped. The counselors sometimes, I don't know, I mean, I'm generalizing, but a lot of the counselors are not equipped to deal with LGBT issues in the context of the youth. And so that for us is a big worry. And I don't know, how do we make changes so that we can actually address even this particular range of youth, you know?
Actually, that's what my petition in the Supreme Court is about. Because 377, first of all, is not just about LGBT. It's also about heterosexuality. Because anything that, apart from sex, to produce babies is illegal in this country, technically.
So we're all criminals.
All criminals. Sade criminals. Yeah. So, yeah.